Will we lose customers being we're a day late?
Maybe.
What time would you do this on Monday? When do you send it out?
Sometimes Monday evening, sometimes today in the morning. So
you got to get busy, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the racetrack in Texas?
It was as nice as they could make it, wasn't it?
It showed all Formula One stuff.
It was.
And that's what it was built for. You know, I don't know. The deal with me, it was so big that you couldn't see anything, and it made it hard to even know what was going on.
Yeah, we was there, a couple of 3 days and didn't see hardly anything, you know what I mean? But it's certainly above what Riverside was years ago, and Bridgehampton and Watkin Glen and all them. But it was amazing. And, boy, they throwed the green flag, and they had Calamity corner, you know. And
going in the first corner.
Yeah, and
that's where everybody get knocked out. You mean?
And I hate to see cars tore up because I used to have to fix them, and I know the cost of them now. But
you know, you sit there for two minutes and 14 seconds or something. That's how long it takes around.
Yeah, during the race, but there's faster than that qualifying, you know, but not much.
You can watch them run, then you can go to the bathroom, get you something to drink, come back and sit down and watch them come back again.
Come back on the same lap,
but
yeah.
The deal is the track is so big and so long, that they get so spread out that the only real excitement is after a caution or the green flag, and they go up to number one corner and turn left, then that's where all the excitement is. I mean, you know, the 43 car and the 42 car run like 8th and 10th all day. That's where they qualify. And then this crowd would stop, and this crowd would stop, and you'd go back to the front, and then you'd stop and go back to the back. And then right down at the end of the race, they had that caution deal. Ooh. And we got wiped out. Both cars got wiped out. And I think with the very last run that they had, we was like 30th and 25th. And then the next...
They wiped out more cars.
They wiped out some cars. We wound up 20th and 23rd.
Well, with the
we already had troubles reasonably back there anyway.
Well, with the wiped out car, the 43 was up to 17th or something, but he was wiped out so much he couldn't race and hold that position. But I don't know. If they didn't tear up so many cars, but even before the race, up in the holler while the crew chief and the engineers were talking, everything had gone so good for practice and qualifying. They said this thing might be caution free. Yeah. And then yesterday morning, I got up and watched a little bit of the tape, and the announcer was even talking about no cautions, and they were proven wrong the first lap, which took out Jimmy, and he was just innocent bystander, and I don't know it.
But you know, really, the 45 car was the class of the field. 24 him and the 24 was the class of the field, and then it got so mixed up at last that they shuffled the 24 back to 5th place.
Yeah,
just because of the number one corner, and so it was one of them deals where the race started, and it just run and run and run, and kind of boring really. And then when they had that third to last caution, I guess, then it got exciting because all the cars got together.
Well, it was really hard to keep up with because sometimes the cars would come down pit road and they hadn't been in for a pit stop. They had made a boo-boo somewhere over in one of them corners, and they got penalized. And, of course, you're talking about the 45 and the 24 being the class of the field. The 24 got shuffled back to 5th, but he was good enough probably to come back to 2nd if they had enough, a couple of 3 more laps, you know what I mean? So you're talking about the class of the field, but it was unreal to look at the finish here in the cars that the 43 and the 42 could outrun that finished ahead of us. And
well, yeah, it finished in the top 8 or 10. 6.
Exactly, and it's such a...
Well, you don't know.
Well, you say that,
It's one of them deals where you do everything you think you can, but it's what the other people do. you either knock them out or they knock you out. And so it's really a crapshoot. And especially the way the track was, the first corner where they got, what, 5 or 6 abreast going through that corner.
How high can you count? I see more than 5 or 6.
Yeah, some of them was off in the dirt. You're right. Okay.
And some of the other corners too. But I still got.
If there was some way they could take that track and make it a little bit shorter. In other words, it's over 3 miles. If they could make it like a 2-mile racetrack, it would make it a lot more interesting.
Well, see, the thing about it, Richard, we're used to the race cars getting back in at least on an average of 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Some a little bit over,
yeah.
and some of them like Bristol and some of them places a lot sooner, But Lord have mercy, they went out for the first practice and they come by and I clicked my watch and I said, well, they're not coming back today, you know what I mean? Then they come back and that's where they got off and said, everything's so smooth, there might not be no caution. But I'm repeating myself again, but they was proven wrong right early on that. And
I just think it takes too long for the cars to go by the spectators. So if you're not careful, you lose interest in it. Plus, you don't know what happened over in the next corner because your car didn't come by.
Well, they had a lot of people in turn 1 because that's where the excitement was. But then the other corners had big grandstands too, and we never did go to none of them. But the people that's familiar with the place, that would be their favorite spot, just to watch them come by, say, supposedly 68 times, but I think it wound up 75, but a lot of slow laps. But, it was quite but they had so much going on, Richard, other than the race, because, you talked about it before the race. They had a go-kart track there that people busy. I guess they just paid to ride and race, and
then they had a zip line. People were going on a zip line.
Yeah, that was just unreal.
I had a Ferris wheel out there. People going around on a Ferris
exactly,
wheel.
and
so many people just wandering around, just come to the race because it's happening. They don't ever even know who's running or what. And
then us riding back to the bus lot, they had a gas station on the property, and I don't know what that was for, but it wasn't. It wasn't. But they had gas pumps, and I don't know how it was operated, but it was a big deal. And first time, man, you've been there, and so we'll have to use it as an education.
I guess
if we can learn anything.
Well, at least we'll get back to racing. We go to Richmond this week.
Yeah,
we'll get back to the kind of racing that we understand. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And they come by in what, 23 seconds, 24 seconds, or something.
I'll get my watches out, and we'll know the first lap to come by. We'll get a baseline.
All right. We'll see them there then. Okay.
Okay. See you next Sunday.